questions up front, like, because I don't really know what we're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we can come out. I figured you guys would just kind of dictate what we do. I have some stuff just like set up that I could throw together, but like, and I have like a kind of a plot, but I figured it would be more sandboxy at first, and then the next couple sessions should be easy to prep for.
This can definitely be more of a brainstorm session, but I know we have some loot that we can sell off and use that to get some more supplies, and then we can sort of figure out where we want to go from here.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
We could do a sort of slice of life piece where we sort of, because I'm thinking of this cute little journey where we all sort of visit each other's place of living,
cool,
just for the fun of it, and we do sort of side gigs, just for like an hour or two. So I think it'd be really cute.
I'm good with that.
Okay. So the last thing that we talked about was like you guys wanted to track down where the time wizard was and find her again. Was that true or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, Yulia definitely wants to figure out where the best place to continue her research is. I don't know specifically where she would look other than the monastery's library, but I'm assuming there's probably other libraries in the area that she could consult. So I think that's probably where she's intending to go. But other than that, yes, sell off the valuables and restock.
Cool. Cool. So I had it set up. So do we wanted to start and go from where last week you guys had set up camp, healed, and I imagine you're waking up in the morning, that kind of thing. Do you want to start there?
Sure.
Cool. So I did have that kind of set up. So you had done that. Gorath was hurt. He's healed. You guys had set up camp and crashed. And when you wake up in the morning, each one of you had a dream. And like, I'm not sure which one of you talks about it first, but I'll talk about McMuffins first. McMuffin.
Good, because he would be that type of person. Guess what dream I had today?
Yeah. And it was weird too, because, it was really vivid, but yet the details were fuzzy. It's hard to describe, but like, it was definitely not your normal dream. Like, you have not had a dream like this. And McMuffin was dreaming about he had a huge cauldron and was making slumgullion.
Sounds about right.
And he was putting, checking the spices, stirring it with a huge, like, basically a boat oar, right? Like, but just like in dreams, all of a sudden he realized that he was actually in the cauldron and stirring it from within it.
Oh, God.
And it freaked him out.
That's not good.
And he woke up.
Whoa. That was... Wait, what time is it? What time of day is it at that point? It's morning, right?
Yeah, morning.
Are the others awake, or are they just starting to wake up? Because if they're not, McMuffin's just going to start... He's going to... If Gorath's snoring, he's going to go... Wait, he looks at Yulia and he looks at Gorath. And he says, who should I wake up first? He looks at Yulia. He says, I'm sorry, Yulia. And he sort of takes the pot off his head. And then he... I don't know, does he have anything metal around him? I don't know, a stick. He just grabbed a stick and starts banging it really loudly in front of Yulia's ear. Good morning!
Yulia just, like, jolts awake. What is going on? Just wild-eyed stare and looks around and sees McMuffin. Did Yulia have a similar dream to McMuffin, or is it a different crazy dream?
It's a different crazy dream for you. You had a dream about a book, and on the front of the book was a sundial that looked like it might even be functional sundial, but it was definitely a sundial on the cover. Okay. You don't really, and your goddess was in it, like from your temple. So and she gave you the book, basically, in your dream.
Okay, interesting. All right. So Yulia starts awake and just kind of that bleary-eyed stare at McMuffin, like, what in God's name are you doing?
I'm glad you asked. I had this weird dream where I was cooking some gullion, and I was in a stew, and I was stirring it for ore, and I was... And McMuffin pauses. Maybe it wasn't as cool as I thought it was. And then it kind of feels awkward. His face getting hot. How'd you sleep?
I think Yulia will say, that's weird that you had a strange dream. I also had a strange dream. My patron goddess gave me a book, and I think it means something. I must be able to figure out what we need to do next from this dream, but I'll have to think about it more.
Oh,
During the background of this entire conversation, Gorath, having been woken up violently, has flown into a rage and is just attacking every tree that's near him in a sleepy fury.
Cool, because Gorath had a dream, and it was creepy as well. Like, you dreamt of this, like, really dark, but, like, featureless bird. Like, it's just, like, it's a dark bird, but it's, like, a blur, right? Like, the only thing that isn't blurry is its size. It seems young, right? Like, it seems like a young bird, like, not fully grown. But very vividly, you see the bird, its talons just ripping apart like some sort of animal and eating it. Super bloody, gory.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So that's what you guys wake to a gorgeous sunset. Like, I actually rolled for it. It's like a beautiful morning. It's like picturesque morning. So you wake into this. It makes it even worse because like the dreams are so creepy that all of a sudden you're like, I don't know. You tell me if it makes it better or worse. But it's just surreal how nice of a morning it is. Perfect sunset or sunrise. I mean.
All right. I think Yulia will attempt to calm down Gorath from his drowsy swinging at trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, Gorath. It's okay. It was a dream. You're fine. You're fine.
Cool.
All right. We're still in camp, right? We're not in town. We need to travel to town.
Yeah. So if you guys are ready to go to town, we can just skip to... So you guys are still outside of Lubo, or is it Lubo?
Lubo, yeah.
Lubo. So it was... Yeah, this all happened not too far for that, so you can just, like, wander back to Lubo.
Yes, my vote is we go back to town.
Yeah. I think Gorath would probably, like, try to hunt something to eat with an axe.
McMuffin sort of asks, "Can you get something for me too?"
And I want to roll survival, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, what's survival in this game? That's a good question. Do we have... I guess we...
I would imagine, like...
Is con survival? Probably.
So... That's going to be 2d6.
I guess it could be wisdom.
Plus 2. Uh-oh. No bots.
Yeah, I got them. Turning the bots on. Sorry, I must have... when I regenerated, I must have hit that. Permissions. Oh. Oh, man. Stupid Discord. The bots just aren't in here. Bots go beep boop. Let me do that. So dumb. Why do you do this to me? Cool. And they have no... Do we have bots in here now? Can you guys see them? Let's see.
I personally can't see them.
No, they're not.
I can't see them either.
So they booted them and took the permissions from them. Give me my bots back. They need to read and send. Boink. And I got,
They're in. I see.
cool. You want to just roll that again, Gorath? You should be cool.
Sure.
While I do a little bit more editing to make sure this doesn't happen again. Hopefully. 9. Okay. Hold
Nice.
on, one sec. I'm just tweaking this thing. Boink. We want... Come on, bots. Connect, speak. Sure. Send messages. Read text. Cool. That should fix that. Cool. So 9, you, yeah, let's see. You don't find something for McMuffin, sadly. Not with the 9.
McMuffin just frowns.
But you find a tasty squirrel, maybe. How about that? Delicious squirrel?
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Squirrel stew is delicious.
You just see me stealthily approaching a squirrel that's just like digging into the ground or something like that. And it's like one of those, like, you couldn't possibly believe that it'd work. But,
But
somehow
it
the
does.
squirrel doesn't notice me, and I like leap at it and rock! And, separate its lower half from its upper half.
Delicious. With an the overkill of an axe versus squirrel. Fun.
Yep.
That's great. Cool. And you can cook that up. So yeah, that's the downside is if you'd rolled a 10, you would have had, a squirrel family maybe.
Just massacre a squirrel family.
Your morale went down.
Let's find out. It really did, actually.
Oh, wow.
Everyone is a little saddened at the sight of the squirrel, maybe.
I don't know. Squirrels are dicks. I don't know if
They
you have
really
them where
are.
you live, but we have them where we are, and they're kind of douchebags.
They really
It's
are.
winter. I actually have not seen a squirrel since forever because it's winter here, and I rarely see squirrels here. So when they come back, I'll let
You'll check them out to see if they're dicks.
Yep.
Reassess their dickishness.
Dickitude.
Cool.
A study in squirrel dickness.
Cool. So you guys probably ate a ration for breakfast and then watched Gorath devour a squirrel. How does he clean it or anything, or is he eating it raw?
He jams a stick down its throat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
And just holds it over the
Oh, no,
fire.
Gorath.
Like he doesn't like take the fur off. He
Right.
just holds it over the fire until it burns the fur off, and it's basically black.
Yulia looks mortified.
McMuffin sort of looks. At first, it was kind of cool. Then McMuffin sort of frowns deeply and says, "I don't know if this looks kind of gross." Ew.
And when he bites into it, it makes this horrific, just super loud crunching sound.
And
Gorath.
burning hair everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Gorath, of course, looks perfectly pleased.
Yep.
Well, if you're happy, then I suppose we're happy.
Yulia still looks mortified.
You did hire the man.
Yep, it's true. It's definitely my fault.
Speaking of which, shouldn't you be leading the way to Lubo?
Absolutely. All right, let's continue on our way. Yulia is not going to be partaking of the squirrel. She is going to wait until we get into town with a properly civilized dinner/breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you guys do a montage of like fun things, like on the way, Gorath picking his teeth with a bone from the squirrel. You know, McMuffin like jumping out from behind a bush, scaring people. It's just the classic, montage to like maybe a Monkees soundtrack, like something terrible.
I like it
and campy on this beautiful morning. And you arrive at town. So let's see here. So Lubo, as you guys remember, is a port town. It's on it is a port town on the Sea of Thorns, which is like a small, almost slightly enclosed a sea. This town has basically two areas. There's the Old Ward, which is the northern side of the city, and then the more of the poorer side / slummish is known as Pilgrim's Will, or sorry, Pilgrim's Well. I wrote that down wrong. And there's just otherwise. Actually, I can find a picture of this. I'm gonna pull up a picture of Lubo. Lovely.
Would it look like sort of an Italian port town, or does it have a particular feel?
Boom. It's not very big. This is one of the smaller towns around. But yeah, so it's on the Sea of Thorns. It is, and yeah, it really just has those two sections with a road running through the middle. I think the main street is called Pit. It kind of divides the town. Down by the docks, of course, so there's a third section, the dock section. But that southern section is Pilgrim's Well. Top section is just called Old Town. And the center square is kind of like, the shared market space for everybody. So you see rich people and poor people together.
McMuffin takes in a good...
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Are you finished?
No, go ahead.
McMuffin takes in a good deep breath. It smells just like home. And plus, then he says, it's not like I don't come here often now. And then he sort of thinks, oh, Lubo. And then he thinks, oh, man, I hope those bullies aren't here. And he sort of looks at Yulia and Gorath. Can we make it quick here? There's people here I don't like. Catch my drift.
All right. Yeah, we can make it quick. I suggest our first purpose should be to sell off what we don't need of our loot.
If we are able to, but yes.
If
And
we are
like
able to.
once we arrive in town, like Gorath is like once we find a stopping point, like maybe in the square or something like that, and people are just discussing what to do, Gorath will just stomp on the ground and then outstretch his hand expectantly.
What is he trying to do? I don't get it.
He's trying to get paid.
But from Yulia?
Yeah. Or like he actually didn't really receive any of the loot or anything because he was busy fighting.
You didn't take any of it? I
think I
did.
got like
You guys
I
had
know
all the
McMuffin
loot
got
with
most
you.
of the stones.
Mm-hmm.
I think I grabbed.
I thought you took the
something,
shinies,
but I didn't write it.
I mean, I know what I grabbed.
Yeah, I think
I
it was
think
like a flask or something. or was it
Quicksilver.
someone
You
else?
grabbed a Quicksilver.
Yeah, I think I grabbed a flask of Quicksilver.
Because there was 2 flasks of Quicksilver. I updated my equipment. I agate stones, a silver dagger, a silver mirror, and I have a cast iron pan. But besides that, that's about it. And that's about it.
I thought if my memory serves, I thought Gorath went after all the shinies. Like, so you took
all the shiny.
You took all the silver. I thought.
Was there actually silver in the?
Mm-hmm. You can look that up again. We keep losing that, don't we? We've got
we
it here
do.
somewhere. That's cool.
Somewhere.
It's probably in words, right? Let's see. Silver. Yeah, there we go. Jump, drink. I'll repost. Cool. Oh, well, actually... Yeah, you posted this. Oink. There you go.
Okay, so we got...
And
okay, so I got a silver
and
dagger,
a
probably.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know that you guys looked at this very closely. So there's a bunch of stones, right? It's like, that's cool. The silver flask is actually engraved. And it says mags on it. Not surprising. The paintings are nondescript. The potion, I can't remember what it was. Yulia had it. I don't remember what it was, but we'll figure that out. Yes, scroll was to detect poison. One of them was detect poison, which we figured out because you could read it. The potion, I don't remember. Silver dagger, silver mirror, also etched with mags on it. Because it was her stuff.
Okay. I'm assuming then, if we grab all of this, we can maybe the group can sort of sit down and separate it if we haven't already done that. Because I'm assuming that, from what I remember, because I did make a slight mistake, I didn't grab this shiny stuff because of Gorath grabbed, but I think McMuffin grabbed the paintings, the stones, like the moss agates and the bandit agates, and the onyx necklace. That's, I think, the only things he really cared about.
Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, so you guys can decide how you want to divvy it up. And if Gorath wants paid, you can work that out.
Rather than sell.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys want to do it? You can do it in character, too. It's totally cool.
Gorath will probably, in addition to the squirrel bones, has found the silver dagger to be a useful personal grooming device, toothpicker, things like that. So the silver dagger has found a home on his belt. The silver flask, he probably took a sip of it at some point.
He did.
And didn't necessarily like the flavor of it. And so he doesn't care what happens with the flask. It's got some weird drink in there.
I meant to ask, what does the quicksilver do? I see in the description that it's addictive, but I'd have to find my paper. What benefit does it have?
So quicksilver is used by wizards, mages, to perform their stuff. If they don't have like a trapped... basically, you can do this twice a day, but you need kind of you either need like an imprisoned like demon in some sort of object, or you can do quicksilver. I think it's up to N amount of times a day, N being your level, and after that you start taking. You start having to roll like con saves, basically. Okay. But it's an addictive drug otherwise.
So not anything that anybody in the party really needs.
No, but it's worth money, and it is a mild poison, is what the instructions say, but it's an addictive drug. Okay. So people might, people in the slums probably pay more for it, maybe. Classic, okay. Right? Actually, maybe rich people do. Who knows?
All right. I want to get the obsidian statue checked out just to see if it means anything, and if it doesn't, I'll go ahead and sell it. But other than, I'll keep the scroll.
Okay.
Gorath will walk over and try to closely inspect the statue that Yulia seems to be unsure about. And this would probably be a wisdom check, or wisdom or intelligence, you call it.
I would say wisdom, just for more lore stuff. If you're trying to decide if you know anything about it, or yeah, cool.
While I'm doing this, I'm trying to look as much as a half orc can, like he knows what he's doing, even though he doesn't.
Cool. So you do know what obsidian is. I assume orcs think, because obsidian would be black, right? Like, you'd like the color for sure. The darkness, right? Like, it'd be kind of cool. It doesn't... You would know it...
Are you saying that orcs are emo? Is that...
I don't know.
The darkness.
I guess when I pictured orcs, I always picture, like Lord of the Rings orcs, and it's always night, seems like. Maybe that's not true. But dark, brutish, you might like it's cool. And skulls all over you, right? Because you were fashioning a pauldron out of a skull, out of one of the skulls. So that's cool. You don't really know much about it, except you're like... you know it's not orcish, and I don't really know. It's basically, it doesn't feel like anything special except that it's worth a sizable chunk because it's large. It's fairly large. I'd say it's like the size of a football.
So upon inspecting it, Gorath will go, right, interesting. So what you've got here is you got black rock that's fashioned in the shape of something, and it looks like it's in the style of the late human style of a thing. So that's I would. That's what it is.
Wow, Gorath, you know a lot about fashion.
Yeah. Yulia pats him on the shoulder. Thank you.
I really like art.
Yulia rolled to see if she knows anything about it, and got an 11.
You're like. Actually, Gorath was right.
I'm inspecting.
Yeah, you're looking at it, and you get nothing more than Gorath basically said, and you know for sure that he wasn't lying because you're like, you actually know, but it's just a statue that's worth some cash. Nothing. It's kind of nice. It's a nice statue.
Yeah. Nothing fancy though.
Yeah, you had said what it was at one point, Yulia, and now I can't remember what it was, but it was. Was it?
I want to say elephant or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was an animal shape.
Jackal.
Cool. Jackal. That is it. Yeah, totally. So you're like, good jackal. You like the fact that it's like the artist was good. It was like it's a nice piece of art. Like,
okay, all right. So yes, I'm all for selling it off and. Giving the proceeds to charity, because that's how Yulia is.
Wow.
Gorath will probably look at his mirror and look in the mirror once, and then just kind of hand it to Yulia.
He doesn't fix his hair or anything? Like, kind of like...
Nope. He doesn't see much purpose for a mirror. He has a pretty good idea how he looks, or so he thinks.
I feel like a mirror could be useful depending on how sadistic our GM is, but we'll sell it off, I think.
Well, you're a lady person, so I figure you need a mirror, fix your hairs.
That's
Muffin.
very considerate of you.
As the two are talking, sort of pokes his head between them. He says, "Let me get it." And he sort of snatches it out of Yulia's hand. And she looks at herself in the mirror and says, "Huh? Are you sure we should just sell it?" Then he looks at it. Has Nate and Mag's name on it, right?
Yes, the mirror has Mag's name on it, as does the flask.
Mm-hmm.
Then he looks at the flask. Why don't we just give this back to her when we see her again?
Well, did you see the big explosion?
Yeah, I saw the big explosion. Trust me, I got hit by many explosions.
Well, I don't know. If you noticed, if you don't have much experience with exploding things, but when you explode people, they tend not to care if you take this stuff.
Well, I mean, maybe she's still alive, though.
But she got exploded.
Yeah, Yulia definitely thinks this is not the last that we will see of her, so she lets McMuffin have the mirror and say, you know what, you can absolutely keep it until we see her again.
You can trust let her use it when she needs to use it for her hair.
I can use this to burn bugs. This will be fun.
And like when McMuffin says that, that's just going to send Gorath into really deep thought.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you can see in his head mirror plus finding bugs and just like question marks popping up over his head.
That gif of the woman thinking with advanced math problems.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So my vote is we go find a fence. I mean, a seller, buyer, person.
Cool.
I like that. But for some of our items, wouldn't it be specific, say, a painter, would you want to sell it to someone who likes paintings? Or would it
I don't know, it depends.
Shop?
Yeah, we could go to a pawn shop. They'll take a wide variety of items.
Cool.
Yeah.
And they won't ask too many questions.
Okay. Yeah. As we're walking there, Brine, could is there a way to make a sort of roll, a luck check or
For sure.
a luck check
Yep.
for a
Is there
negative
a luck
result?
check?
Is there such
Yeah.
thing as a destiny social check? Whatever you call it?
The die of fate.
Yeah, die of fate.
Yes.
Yep. You got a 6. You're very lucky.
God bless.
He does have a pot on his head.
So
McMuffin,
McMuffin,
as he's
sorry, I just wanted to understand. You said people were looking for you, and you called them bullies.
yeah, they're bullies. Sort of. Long story short, I was thinking in this town because it's also a port town. His town of Hisflet is sort of rivals.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he delivers stuff for his family, the rival merchants always target him, and they always raise prices, and they're very much not nice to him
Cool.
or to his family. So he actively tries to avoid talking to people here.
Yep. Got it. I was kind of assuming that, and I was going to roll for you, but they don't see you. You were asking me to roll because you wanted to see if they found you, right?
Yeah, if they found me, if they saw me.
Cool. You rolled a 6. You're being very. You have great luck today.
Yeah, McMuffin's just sort of hiding behind Gorath. Says, "Yo, Gorath, walk faster, please."
Now, one thing I learned in the last town that I went to was that when you go to pawn shop and they ask you if you stole it, you do not say yes.
McMuffin sort of raises an eye. Yeah, Gorath. I mean, we didn't steal it. They gave it to us. I mean, after they died, but they gave it to us.
Yeah, but they don't like it when you say stuff about killing people. I found out. So yeah, just don't talk about killing or exploding two old ladies or taking the stuff from them. It's just I don't know. Many people know that, but it's what I found out.
We inherited these items from our great aunt Birgit. All of us. We all have the same aunt.
I have an aunt named Birgit.
Yep,
Yes.
you do now.
And McMuffin sort of says, "Let me handle this. I'm for family emergency. Don't you think I can't do this? I did this for a living."
Off we go to the pawn shop then.
Cool. Has McMuffin ever needed a pawn shop / fence before? I'm guessing no. I'm guessing he wouldn't know where they are, but maybe he does.
I mean, he knows of pawn shops and he knows of places to go and sell items that you just don't need and just knickknacks and whatnot. But in terms of ever owned one or ever been inside one, maybe when he was younger, but not.
Okay, but he wouldn't know where they are here, right?
No, not here. He wouldn't know where they are.
Yeah, cool. So you guys, you'd probably ask around to see, like, what the going rate is, right? And see.
We'll just look. Wait until we see a cash for gold sign out somewhere.
Exactly. That's what originally when Gorath just stuck out his hand. I figured he was like waiting for someone to come service you guys. Like, oh, here's your fence. Stand in line. Like, these bags.
Hello.
That'd be cool.
I'm your emergency medical fence hologram.
Anything else you need? Cool. So you guys ask around, and everyone just tells you to go down to the docks.
Punch up.
Yeah, down by the docks and ask for Maddie.
McMuffin sort of hears the name Maddie. He's like, "Oh, Maddie. Oh, Maddie. Okay, probably fun."
Gorath asks a baby in a carriage if he knows where a pawn shop is.
How does the woman react? The family react?
She had her back turned and she was like buying tomatoes or something, and then turns around and just like, quickly moves away.
Hurries off.
Yeah.
And he takes the child was eating a lollipop and takes it out of his hand.
Taking candy for babies.
And then the mom turns around and and it's a perfect, like, you walk away and she turns back and like just continues strolling, doesn't even see you. Cool. So you guys go down to the docks and you ask around again for Maddie, and they point you in her direction of her shop.
Have you seen Marcus?
Marcus?
Oh, I think it was
Or Maddie.
Marcus.
Yes. Sort of, McMuffin sort of sighs and says, "I
Heavy
kind of
sigh.
know where she is. Let me just take y'all there, okay?"
Yeah, you would definitely know where the docks are and your way around this town for sure.
All right, let's go.
Cool. So you guys arrive at Maddie Grin's place. She's part of the Thieves Guild. She's like the main fence. Things coming in and out. It's the typical, like, you're inside and there's just random shit, boxes of things, and it looks like like almost a post office, and she's at the desk.
All right, let's see if I can check my character sheet and see what... I've got 6 charisma, so that's not a bonus to anything. Correct?
Nope. Correct. So you have 0 charisma.
Okay. How?
Let me check my charisma.
Let's see. 2.
I find her charming.
My charisma is a 1.
Ouch. Oof.
Ooh,
I got
McMuffin.
snake eyes.
No, McMuffin has.
Let's
That
throw
means
some
Yeah,
assistance
because-
in since
no. McMuffin is.
Yeah, my charisma is a
charismatic.
1.
He's plus
Who's
one.
got the highest charisma? Let's see if we can sell ice to an Eskimo. We got a 5. McMuffin.
Rolling right now. Sorry.
Gorath is not doing well. You guys are not doing well.
9. We got a 9.
Okay, cool. 9 charisma, not bad. So it sounds
Better
like
than 2.
that's all.
so like when
McMuffin sort of puts his hand on Yulia, then on Gorath. Don't worry.
I got this.
I got this. I know this person.
so I'll explain
Sort
my
of-
charisma as like I'll be behind everybody, and when we walk into the shop, I like slam the door really hard, and like dust kind of comes off of everything. And,
Sorry.
Yeah, like a crappy painting on the wall falls off. Incorrect.
yep.
Yep.
And Maddie says, "Can I help you?" Kind of annoyed.
And McMuffin sort of takes his hat off. And does Maddie recognize her? Recognize him at all?
No, she doesn't.
Oh. Sort of clears his throat. So, good morning, Maddie. I'm here on behalf of the. I'm here on behalf of the McMuffin family. Have you heard of my family?
She says, "Yeah, I've heard of your family."
Yes, we're here to sell a couple of goods. And he
I've
sort of
got
looks
an aunt
around.
named Bertha.
And my friends here are also helping me sell stuff, including our aunt here. But who is not here? And he looks at Gorath and sort of does a motion to shut up. As we were saying, and then he sort of, McMuffin then points to Yulia and Gorath. Could you show her the goods?
Yulia will produce the goods. And sort of elbow Gorath. All right, come on.
So are you?
And Gorath takes the flask and like puts it on the counter, and it falls over, and the lid was like kind of loose, and a little bit falls out before he picks it up.
McMuffin sort of rolls out the paintings and everything else he kept, including the agate stones and everything else, yeah.
Cool. So you guys put everything, the entire amount of loot out. You're not holding anything back.
I'm holding back the silver dagger and the just the silver dagger.
Okay, cool.
And Yulia is keeping the scroll of detect poison.
Cool.
And I think McMuffin said he wanted to keep the mirror.
Yes, the mirror.
Okay.
But he's also kind of thinking about the paintings. He'll decide depending on how much they're worth.
Okay, cool. So, and I forgot to describe. So Maddie is like, she's not super old. She looks slightly weathered, like she's, has not had an easy life. She's, like long waistcoat, dresses more like a guy than a gal. Short-ish hair for a woman, like shoulder length, which is, a little short for, not bad looking, and just a little, has that has a vibe that she's tougher than she needs to be because, she's a woman in a fence job. And so she's like peering over the stuff, right? She's like, she picks up the potion and is like, so what's this?
It's Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, yeah.
No,
like,
not that.
It's a potion, yeah.
Which-
And
Potion. Yeah.
and the potion's
Oh.
like it's like a like a small like little. Every time I think of potions, I always think of them in like a beaker or something, but with a cork on it. You know what I mean? Like almost a. I don't know what those are called, but it's like a crimson color, and she's like, "Do I look like a? I'm no mage. I don't know what this is." What's in here? Looks delicious.
Well, to be frank, we don't know either. If you would know a mage around this town.
Do we know what the potion is? Do we have any idea?
Of course.
Yeah, do we know?
No, I remember you guys had asked about it, or I think Yulia tried to figure it out, but didn't know what it was.
Okay.
So she pushes that to her left and says, "Well, I don't know what this is." Do you want to? Or you're throwing the? You want to talk about the paintings?
Yeah, McMuffin sort of rolls up the paintings. So, what do you know about them? Just let me. Yeah. And anyone know about these paintings at all?
Oh, yeah. They're made with the human brush stroke style.
And she says... Go ahead.
Just so you know, Yulia is trying to figure out what the potion is again and rolled an 8.
Okay. Because... I mean... You already rolled on it, so I can't really let you roll again. Like, you just don't know what it is. You're not a mage. And lore on this, I don't remember exactly what it did. I remember you didn't know, that's why I took what it is off there before I posted it. Otherwise, you would already know it. 1 second, I gotta find these name
No
things.
worries.
Sorry, I'm just grabbing this again because I need all the stuff. So she's not interested in the potion because she doesn't know what it is either. She's also no mage. But she's looking at the paintings and she likes those. So she's going to give you the 30 silver a piece for them, for 4 of them.
The muffin sort of looks at her and says, 30 silver pieces. And then, can I make, is there a history check I can make about an appraisal shop or a paint shop or anywhere that'd be better to sell paintings?
Sure. I mean,
I don't know what I'd roll for that. Would that be luck or something?
No, you can just hold on to them and look at another place after this if you'd like.
Yeah, McMuffin sort of looks at Maddie, and then sort of scowls his eyes. 30 silver pieces? Only 30 silver pieces? You can't be serious.
Excellent.
Silver pieces.
Nicely
Some
done.
scribbles of some trees. What are you doing?
Gorath, less talking, just watch. He sort of corrects her as he looks back at Maddie.
And Maddie says, I'm with the orc on this. Maybe 20 is better.
Oh, that's still good. That's good.
McMuffin sort of visibly sighs, and says, oh, God. If you only are going to say 20, then I will gladly take them back. As he sort of goes to take them back.
Okay, she'll let you.
McMuffin wasn't
Good bluff. Good job.
Can I roll for charisma?
Yes, you can. And I'm rolling for Dice of Fate here. Oh. Your fate is not good. What do you get?
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So you just got basically triple ones. She's not sure she even
Major
wants to
snake
deal.
dies.
She's thinking like she might not want any of this at this point.
We've rubbed her the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question about what other sort of items she has in her shop?
Yeah, you can ask anything. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, what kind of things does she seem to do business with the most?
Oh, so you're looking around and just kind of give it a...
I'm trying to see what things that she will be able to turn around quickly. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've been to pawn shops, and they tend to have certain, items that they like to buy because they can sell them quickly.
For sure. So if you're looking around and seeing what kind of items she has, they're kind of, like boxed up and whatever. It's not necessarily a display kind of thing. It's more like, stuff in back, that kind of thing. But like let's say on display, there is a lot of silver, So like, obviously she would take silver the flask would be great. She'll take all the agates, the necklaces, basically all those things. That's more her thing. She's not a mage.
Okay.
She doesn't really know.
All
If you
right.
gave her a scroll and told her what it was and she could understand it, she'd probably be into it because they're expensive.
Okay. So I think Yulia will elbow McMuffin and sort of tell him to put the agates on the counter, and the onyx necklace and the mirror probably. So of those things, will she take anything?
Yeah, she took.
McMuffin puts everything.
You didn't want the mirror, or you did?
Oh, the mirror. He wants the mirror, so he puts everything but the mirror, and he takes back the
Okay.
paintings.
Okay.
So she's not into the potion. She's going to let you have keep the paintings because she's pissed now. She definitely wants the quicksilver because she knows what that is.
Cool.
You're keeping the detect poison, so that's cool. The obsidian statue she's down with. Yep. She might be a little emo, actually. Gorath's keeping the dagger, and McMuffin's keeping the mirror. So that's what we got. Cool. So let's see here. And she says she'll give you 500 silver for the lot.
Everyone else okay with that?
Muffin sort of looks at Yulia and sort of whispers, "Should we ask for more?" I usually don't beg like that.
Your
I'm more used.
your haggling powers have not proven to be
Yeah.
effective
Oh.
up until now. So
What? We have an onyx necklace too. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
didn't we put the onyx necklace?
Yeah, we gave that too.
Okay.
We gave everything essentially on my luggage except for the silver mirror and the 4 paintings.
Okay.
I'm good with 500. Anyone else?
I'm perfect with it too.
Okay.
Cool. She takes the stuff in back, comes back, has 500 silver, lets you guys count it.
Okay. Do we want to split it 3 ways?
Sure. Gorath will take one of the
Yeah.
silvers and bite down on it and bend it.
So that's about 166 silver each.
There you go. That's not bad.
All right. I'll take it.
And you still have some things, right? So you guys still have paintings, and detect poison, silver. I'm just doing some housekeeping.
Silver dagger.
Yep, silver dagger, silver mirror, cool. And $1.60.
And potion.
Yep, and the potion. And
Excellent.
that's right. Put that in there. And 166
All right.
each. That's pretty cool. Cool. So Maddie, go
Before
ahead.
we leave, I'd like to ask her what she knows of the city. Is there anything you know about? Is there someone I can talk to who knows the city? Who knows who to talk to? Who are the important people?
Well, she says, she kind of almost rolls her eyes at you a little bit. It's like, if you want to know something, you should probably ask me. What is it you want to know?
All right. I want to know who. Let me see. I am looking for information relating to history.
Mm-hmm. Can you? And she says, "Can you be a little more specific?"
Simply the study of civilizations and.
Do you know anyone who has a library which is, I guess, composed of more eclectic interests? Somebody who has information that normal people wouldn't necessarily have.
And she says, "I see. You're looking for the library. And she says, sure. Hit the tavern and ask for Brother Rolf.
Brother Rolf. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I will
Brother
go ahead
Ronald.
and tip her. I'll go ahead and tip her 5 silver. And as far as I'm concerned, we can be on our way.
And
Well, I've got a question for the
Go for
missus.
Yep.
Where's can I find a sword that is as big as I am?
And she thinks about it if she has one. And she says, "Do you just want a big sword, or do you want, what is it you're looking for? Work?
I want a big sword that is very good looking for a sword.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you what I like. I like spikes, skulls, fighting, and swords.
Spikes. Okay. And swords.
And spikes. Yes.
Cool. And she says, I might actually have something you'd be interested in. And she goes in the back and she returns with a sword in like wrappings and unwraps it. And it is a great sword. And she says, I got this off of a traveling, like a wandering peddler. His name was Drekel. He seemed kind of shifty, and I figured he was probably bullshit. But he says this sword used to belong to Ripley Gunner Drace. And he swore the finest swordswoman who ever lived.
Sort of, McMuffin sort of pushes Gorath away. He said Ripley Gunner Grace, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's what he said.
The greatest pirate that ever lived.
I don't know nothing about pirates, but said she was the finest swordswoman who ever lived.
Oh,
Insert
man, she was
fangirling
a
here.
swordswoman. Oh, that's so cool. And then sort of McMuffin gets his composure again. Actually, now that I have a question for you, would you know where I could learn more about this person?
I don't. She says, I don't know much about him. His name was Drekel. He comes through town occasionally. That's all I know.
Would you say that he's a
Right.
shady man? Or a man who works for criminal activity?
Say that again. What was that?
Would you know if the man worked at criminal activity or not? Or were they an upsetting?
She says, being a wandering peddler, I would say, yeah, probably you'd probably find them in the slum. That's where I met him, at least. Normally, I don't go in for that sort of thing. I don't typically go in for a story like that, but it's a nice sword.
Sure is. Well, thanks for the information. Thank you. I appreciate that. From my family to yours.
Gorath will pick up the sword and feel its weight,
And it's heavy. Yeah, it's a
heavy.
great sword. Yeah, and it's really well made. It's astonishingly well made, and it does have skulls on it. Strangely enough, which would lead you to believe that it was, hence the pirate motif, right?
I really like the little spikes that are at the top above the grip, and I like the skulls. It's got a black handle, so that's cool too. How much would you like for this sword?
And she thinks about it. It's like, I'd let it go for 70 silver.
70 silver.
And this is where Gorath puts on his his very poor, but he's attempted to work on negotiating skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, miss, that you are not bad looking.
McMuffin sort of looks at Gorath like,
Smooth.
Then he looks at Yulia.
Very smooth.
Should we do something? We should just let.
So
Yulia and McMuffin take Gorath by the arm and lead him out of the shop.
No, I want to soul.
I'll be back later.
Let me get this skull sword.
So you don't want the sword, I take it. You guys are out of there.
I don't know. Does Gorath
Me and
fight
McMuffin,
free?
Yulia and McMuffin, as we hear the flirting, we're like, we should go.
Right.
Gorath can stay.
Yulia and McMuffin try to lead him away. Does Gorath, fight against us?
Yeah, and it totally gives away the whole game. He was trying to be cool, like you're not bad looking, and then they try and say, Gorath, we should go, and he's just going to be like, no, I want the sword. I want it really bad.
Well, if you want it really bad, then go ahead and buy it. But I don't want to see you doing that ever again. This McMuffin is sort of embarrassed as he walks out.
Immediately after that display, he'll try and gain his composure and go back to the counter like nothing happened and be like,
60 silvers. I've already got an axe.
Hold on. Roll me some charisma. I just gotta know.
Let's see it. Come on, let's go.
It does. Come on.
Oh!
snake eyes, holy shit.
And she says, I think maybe 80 sounds a little bit better, doesn't it?
I mean, you got it.
Gorath will just look confused for a second and be like,
but didn't you say 70 at first?
80 or I'm keeping the sword.
But I said you didn't look bad.
Thank you. You can tell she's starting to get angry now. And short.
Oh my god.
If you'd rolled anything close, it would have been cool.
Kind of more creepy than cool.
and he's confused and kind of just doesn't know how to approach the situation and just
would you drive a hard bargain? It's you're good negotiation. I'll take it.
Cool. And she gives it to you, takes the money, takes the silver, and says, I think I've had it with you guys today. Maybe come back another time when you have different stuff.
Right. Well, you have a nice day, human lady.
Not bad looking human lady.
Not bad. That was awesome. I was actually not prepared for you guys to roll that shitty. Super funny though. I actually had nothing prepared for that. Nice job. I didn't know what to do. That's cool. Well, that's a good one. Yeah. The sword can be like that, sure.
All right. Just for the sake of repeating, Yulia is looking out for a wool seller.
For a what seller?
Of course.
A wool seller, like sheep's wool.
Oh, okay. Actually, now that we leave the shop, can we just take a quick break?
Yeah, no problem.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Cool. Let's take 5-10. And,
all right. See you guys soon.
Cool.
It's a cat.
What are you talking about?
Are you here for GorathCast?
Of course, right, Yulia?
Right now.
I imagine Gorath is
the
actually
topic.
because McMuffin had set up like a little soapbox for Gorath, and now Gorath is just talking like this in the streets.
And there's just a cat sitting in front of him.
We're trying to kill time.
Yeah,
trying to kill time.
And McMuffin takes the pot off his head and puts it out for coins.
Do we have
So,
a
little kitty, what are some good recipes for squirrels in the wild? That's interesting.
And hilariously, two children are sitting there staring up at you. Nobody else.
Yulia
The
has
kids say
taken this opportunity to sneak off and go buy some wool.
The kids don't say anything. They're like scared to death, basically, but like oddly curious.
And like Gorath just has an entire conversation with a cat that does not really respond back at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of sits there and like lays down at some point and starts licking itself. You know?
And when it starts, the cats.
I like that kind of preparation myself, Mr. Kitty.
And then both the little
God.
kids start clapping.
Thank you. We'll come back for the next GorathCast. The next time I'm somewhere.
Cool.
I'll be here all week. Tip your waitress.
And their mother comes by and like looks at you appalled and scuttles them away. Cool.
I still look at satisfied customers.
McMuffin picks up his pot hat and like jiggles it. There's no sound. Puts it back on his head.
Good haul,
Oh,
Jay.
we lost McMuffin. McMuffin is back.
Oh, he said his
He's back.
cut out. Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Can you hear us, McMuffin?
I can hear y'all. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yep, there you go.
Good, good.
Cool. You picked back up your hat,
Excellent.
and you were upset that there was no coins in it. Cool. Do you want to, Yulia? Do you want to? You can just have wool, or we can role play it. Your choice.
No, we can just go ahead and say that I snuck off and bought some. It's not it's not role play relevant.
I've seen Yulia shop for wool in real life. It's riveting.
It takes a little while.
Cool.
Okay, so I think Yulia wants to go to the library next.
Cool.
What does everyone else want to do?
Yulia mentions the library, and Gorath just like looks like a kid who's like been told he's not going to the candy store.
Whereas Yulia looks like a kid who has been told she is going to the candy store.
McMuffin looks at Yulia, then he looks at Gorath. I'm gonna go to. Is there a sailors? I would assume there's a sailors guild of some sorts, right?
There would have to be down by the docks for sure.
Yeah. So McMuffin says, I'm gonna go to the sailors guild, and I'm then gonna go to the slots. Can I meet you at the city center in a couple hours?
Yeah, we can meet up again. Yulia definitely wants to go to the library, though.
And
Cool.
Gorath wants to go to the pub.
Very good. Cool. And so I'm assuming you guys are in the city center, which is like the square, let's say. And,
Yes.
And that's where. So there are other people, like talking and doing, like preaching, and then exactly. There's some sort of hubbub in the center of the square. A dude with a big cart is like preparing something. You don't know. And you can kind of get the lay of the land. There's definitely a pub in sight. You were at the docks, so McMuffin can go back to the docks. McMuffin can go to the docks. Gorath can go to the pub. But you're looking for the library, yes?
Correct.
And he told you to go to the tavern and ask for... I forgot his name. Brother Rolf.
Ronald, yeah, Ronald.
Exactly. So you guys could go to the pub together. McMuffin, you can go down to the docks.
Yeah. McMuffin's this first stop is the docks, and then the slums. Well, he's gonna go to the docks first, and then he'll go to the slums in the evening because he's assuming that's where it'd be most likely to find this man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Who wants to go first? You guys, so the party is splitting, but how do you guys want to do it?
I assume that when Gorath walks in, he is a known entity at the pub.
Oh, in what way?
The fact that in towns, pretty much it's like the pub or the pub that
he drank them out of house and home last time.
Yeah, and there's always something that happens. There's always being a half orc. And then getting intoxicated. Mm-hmm. There's always something that happens.
So you're saying known in not the best way.
Yeah.
Infamous.
Yes. Cool. So you guys want to go first? Are you going together? What do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
We can all go to the tavern. But yeah, Yulia is going to aim for the library as soon as she is able.
Same. To wherever.
So are you guys sticking together, or McMuffin, are you going down to the docks? That's what I'm confused.
McMuffin's going to go down to the docks himself. Because he wouldn't want other people following him. It's kind of a drag. A little bit sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is McMuffin cutting out for anybody else?
A little bit, yeah.
Tiny bit, yeah.
So let's do the pub scene first, then.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
No problem.
And we'll shoot over to McMuffin in a sec.
Okay.
So you guys are. Let's see. Let me bring up my stuff. Boink. Cool. What's the name of the pub?
Dio Ball and Chain.
I see where your mind's at, Gorath. We're going to have a conversation.
I'm going to say it's Ye Old Ball and Chain.
Ye Old
there you
Ball
go.
and Chain, yes. Yeah.
And it's
Ye Old Ball and Chain. I like it.
Ball and Chain. Cool.
You are in so much trouble.
Cool. So this is just like a more of a common, pub. It's not really rich. It's not really poor. It's kind of right in the middle, and it just happens to be in the middle of town as well. So that's cool. It's got, there's people inside. I assume you just walk in, right? Like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. So there's the patrons in there are mostly just like town folk looking people, right? Like, no like other adventures, that sort of thing. There are a couple of guards in here. Like that you can just like, you know how guards look like. They're dressed similarly enough where you can kind of get that they're like the local militia.
Okay.
And the innkeeper...
Does anyone
go ahead.
Does anyone recognize McMuffin?
Or Gorath?
Gorath.
Okay, I'm confused again, because I thought you split. Are you there?
Oh. I thought we all went to the pub together, and then we split.
Okay, I did...
we can do that.
However you want to do it. You tell me if you're
that's
there.
what I was...
Okay, cool. Actually, it does look like someone recognizes you there.
Where are they standing in front of me or behind me, or do they interact with me, or do they just like see me?
You tell me. I mean, I don't know who's looking for you.
Okay. Maybe I should specify. We could say a rival, sort of a rival gang of sorts. They just sort of pick on McMuffin.
Okay.
I could give a full character description, but I'm not sure if you want me to do that.
No, it's fine. I was thinking, let me think here. I would say it's the guards that notice you.
Okay, because I got names for them. I'm assuming it's 2 guards, and I've already kind of thought out how the guards look and everything in my head.
Okay. Well, then you tell me what they look like.
One is very tall. Sort of imagine a Mario Luigi situation. Mm-hmm. One is very tall and lanky. The other one's very fat. And the 2 of them, as McMuffin was the last person to walk in. And as he's walking in, the 2 guards look at each other, then look at McMuffin, and then they step right in front of them and says, "Oh!" And they say, and the fat one says, "Oh, look at who we got here." And then the whole bar sort of, I think, everyone sort of looks at McMuffin, and he says, McMuffin sort of sighs, "Why, hello, Edward." And then he says, out of character, what rhymes with Edward?
Well, now you have to go with the fucking werewolf from Twilight.
Oh my god.
As the companion. Edward and
Jacob.
Whatever. Jacob, yeah, there you go.
Edward and Jacob, there we go.
I am
Which one's
ashamed
which?
that I know that.
The only reason I know that is because you reminded me. Okay.
Is Jacob tall or fat?
Jacob's the tall one, Edward's the fat one.
Yep.
I see what team you're on.
I actually do not remember either of them. I don't really care either way.
Okay.
Anyway, Guffin sighs again and says, "Hello, Edward and Jacob. Nice to meet y'all again." Also, Brine, just to give a character description, they're kind of they're not guards. We wouldn't call them respectable, justified people. They're complete jerks.
Totally.
And so is everyone in this bar. They just do not like him or his family, and they want to make his life very miserable.
Okay, cool. So the entire place, they notice you, and they notice Gorath, and it's almost like when you guys walk in, there's like a everyone sighs at the same time, like they know what's next, right? And Jacob and Edward,
Gorath is surprised that he's not the one being accosted.
Exactly. He's like, "Wait, what about me?" Exactly.
So, as he says, yeah, I'm here just for a little bit. If you can, just let us get through. I just want a drink of water. I'd appreciate that very much. He laughs and everything.
Mm-hmm. And they say, and they give you a look, and they say, like, "I think we told you not to come back in here, didn't we?"
I don't remember anything like that. Y'all just said you don't like me for reasons out of my control. You never said for me not to show up.
And then Jacob looks down at Edward and goes, "Get your water."
Why, thank you. You're all so nice. And McMuffin sort of passes him and sort of frowns and says, "What a piece of what assholes." He says out under his breath.
And everyone notice those two start talking quietly to each other and kind of like nodding kind of in your direction, and then that kind of thing. Doesn't look good.
Gorath misunderstanding. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yulia just sort of positions herself protectively between McMuffin and the rest of the people.
Thanks, Yulia. Because you're here, they would never punch a girl.
Of course not.
That means stand in front of me so that if someone throws a punch, you can take it for me, right?
That's right.
So, Yulia, you're just kind of like blocking, making sure you're just diffusing the situation, it sounds like. Okay, cool. Yep. And
all right,
Gorath, people are kind of, you hear like a little bit of like some talking that seems like it's about Gorath, but like nothing specific.
Mm-hmm. And Gorath, specifically at Edward and Jacob, I'm gonna say that they know Gorath well too, and Gorath in a different manner, and Gorath misinterprets the relationship, and he'll wave at them and be like, "Eddie, Jojo." I hope he's feeling better from the scuffle that we had last week.
So you're saying they do know him?
Yeah, like
okay, cool.
I think the guards at any bar,
right,
that Gorath has been to more than once.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
and you can see them like they both have spears, and you can see them kind of gripping their spear and like giving you basically the stink eye, but almost in that cool way where like you're just like they're just trying to basically look cool, even though they're a little scared.
The old so-and-so's pint of good stuff. We just came in and I got paid, so I can buy the good stuff.
Oh, you're asking the bartender?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
At this point.
Yeah, cool. One sec. Where is it? Cool. The bartender is he is a dwarf. And
of course.
Yep. And you it's the classic, but he's strangely tall behind the bar because he's walking on planks back there, which is cool. So like maybe you have in the past kind of looked over the bar and taken a peek at that. So you're like, why is this dwarf so tall? And he says to you, to Gorath, you have money this time.
Well, of course I told you I would.
Let's see it, Gorath.
Gorath will pull out a handful of silver and be like, you see.
And you put it on the bar, like smack it down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like more. How many coins did you grab?
He's got pretty big hands, so probably like 15 silvers.
Cool. And Kari, the bartender, says, "Well, you still owe me 3."
Oh, does?
I mean, last time. Do you even remember last time?
Well, not specifically, but you're not bad looking for a dwarf.
And he walks
Rough
away.
in size. God.
And he walks to the other end of the bar. What's that?
McMuffin calls back Karthi.
Cool. Kari comes to you and says, "Are you with him?" Motioning to
Yes.
you tell
Yes.
him.
McMuffin sighs and says yes, but
I don't
I'm
want to be
thinking
trouble.
that sort of McCarthy is. I don't want any trouble either. McCarthy. I'm thinking in character, McCarthy's sort of sympathetic to McMuffin, so he's relatively nice to him. But he sort of keeps distance away from him, so he doesn't want to get in trouble in his bar. At least that's my thought of a dynamic between them. McMuffin looks at Gorath and he looks at McCarthy. I really don't want any trouble either. Could we just get a glass of water? And he looks at Yulia. Yulia, what do you want?
Yulia is suspicious of the apple juice in this establishment, so she'll have a glass of water as well.
Gorath, what do you want? Please make it quick.
I want a bottle of dwarven ale.
McMuffin looks at McCarthy. And Dwarven ale?
And he nods, gives Gorath a quick look, kind of like basically rolls his eyes, and starts. He has to go to the back for the ale because like it's special, the dwarven ale. But he returns with 3 tankards and gives them to you and says 4 silver.
McMuffin gives 4 silver.
Mm-hmm.
Just to double check, does Yulia know where the library is, or does she need to ask somebody in the tavern?
You could ask the bartender.
Okay, I will go ahead and do that. Yulia asks the bartender if he knows where I can get some information, some books.
And he says, "You're looking for the library," right? And he says,
the library.
Hey, Rolf. And the brother Rolf comes over, and he says, "This lady's looking for the library." And he's very excited. He like his eyes light up, and he
Yulia is very excited too.
So 1 sec, I don't have him up. Boink. So come on. Cool, yeah. So Brother Rolf, he's your typical like fat friar, right? Like chubby. He has food stains on his robes, right? Like you can tell, he's basically a monk. He's currently got like some sort of. It looks kind of like maybe like I don't know, like a turkey leg, like mostly eaten, and it like has a little food on his face. And he's like, "You're here for the library?"
I absolutely need to look through the library here. I have a very important quest that I'm on.
And he looks at the bartender, and he's like, "Come with me." And he's like fishing in his robes for a key. He pulls out a key on a lock and leads you to the back, the back of the tavern.
Question: as that's happening, can McMuffin sort of make a sign that says Yulia's a nerd or something, like an L on his forehead? Sure. She's not looking, so an L on his forehead.
Does Gorath see it?
Yes,
Gorath does see it. And I'm trying to think if he's ever seen anybody do that.
He's like, "You have lice."
What does that rune mean?
I'm casting a spell.
Oh, you're a wizard?
In my dreams. Now just be quiet, please.
Gorath will get kind of like pouty and then turn over and start talking to a random person about how a castle appeared out of nowhere and crushed his tent.
Cool. So Brother Rolf is eagerly ushering Yulia, and if you guys want to come, that's fine. If not, that's also fine. Towards the back, there's like a little locked door, and on it in like bad, just like terrible, like chalk, it says library.
Is it spelled
Library.
correctly, at least?
No. It's library.
Library.
Yeah.
Yulia's still excited.
Okay, cool. So he fumbles
Any
the
book is a
lock.
good book.
Yeah, and he opens the door, and it's really like the size of a reasonable sized like broom closet. It's just a small room that you get the idea that he rents from the tavern.
Okay.
Like, that sort of thing. And he beckons you to come in, lights a few candles, And the room illuminates. And you can say it's literally 2 shelves with a few books each. Like, there's a number of them, but there's not many. And they're just like a library from that time would be. They're chained to the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, because he's trying to be proper.
Okay. Far from being dispirited, Yulia kind of rubs her hands together because this isn't going to take long, if there's only so many books. So she immediately just starts in and starts scanning pages for literally anything that would be useful.
Cool. And he's like he's taking bites off the
turkey leg.
Yeah, the turkey leg. And he's talking with his mouth full. And is there something that you're looking for?
Time magic. Again, just half, not really paying attention, just scanning. But yeah, time magic.
Time magic. Well, there's nothing. I don't have any books on time magic. But he picks up a book that looks very familiar to you. And it has a sundial in the cover.
Oh.
And the sundial is actual functioning sundial. And he says...
Yulia, go ahead.
Go ahead. He says, this is the only closest thing I have to on time.
She snatches it out of his hand and starts, looking through it.
Mm-hmm. So you're looking through this, and it's weird. It basically seems like it's some sort of like crappy journal. Like, there's no dates though. It's weird. But each page it has a number, like a largely like almost. It's kind of nicely drawn. Like they took time to do numbers on the bottom. The bottom corner, right corner of each page. And like page 1, you're reading, it's like, how to shear wool from a goat. Sheared wool from a goat today. It was very exciting. And it's just like complete garbage. You don't get it at all. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
And each page is a little bit like that. Do you want to roll me? Do you have lore? What? I thought you had lore.
Let me... I have Decipher. Let me check my page.
Do Decipher. That'd be rad, actually. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. 2d6?
Yeah. Cool.
7.
Yeah, but you have Decipher, so you can't really go wrong. You immediately notice then... the book is full of weird stuff. Like maybe there's a message in there that you could figure out. You don't have time to do it right now, but you definitely notice there's 2 pages marked 12, and one's seems to be like one's normal. They look very similar, but there's only like 1 word difference in each one. They're identical otherwise.
Okay.
Okay. And the words...
Maybe a code?
Yeah, the words are... It appears to be like one says noon and one says midnight.
Okay.
But again, the pages are just complete garbage.
Okay. I will ask the brother if I can borrow this book, and I would be perfectly willing to give him a cash deposit as collateral.
When you first ask him, he's very nervous about you taking the book, but then the cash deposit, then he's like, oh. He smiles and he kind of nods. He's like, oh, okay. Can you leave me 5 silver for it?
Absolutely. 5 silver it is. And she pulls the money out and hands it to him.
Yeah, and he says, that book is strange. Like, I've read it a number of times. You are
not kidding.
And he says, I started to copy it. But then, because like because he's also trying, you can clearly see that he is also a scribe. He's practicing his scribing on the books few books he has. And he's like, I could have sworn the other night that it was when I opened it, it was different. And he looks kind of confused, and he doesn't even he has a look like he's like, I probably shouldn't talk about that. He's confused about it and almost embarrassed.
Yeah, Yulia definitely. She looks at the book and she says, "I feel that there's something very important and very special about this. So, thank you for letting me borrow it." And then she gives like a nerdy hug to the brother, like, "Yay!"
Cool. And you can see he's just very excited that he was able to help someone. He's also like, and then he fills out a little, like, a card, and what was your name, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Yulia Mulsdaughter, and she signs the little card,
cool.
And the date for when it was checked out. And
he takes a stamp and stamps it, and then slides it into the book.
Got that little pocket at the front of it with all of the names.
Of course it does. And no one's checked this book out. You're the first person.
All right, I think Yulia is satisfied, so she will have the book in her arms and almost dance out of the library, like, "Oh boy, I'm going to enjoy reading this."
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And as she walks out, the first thing she hears is a half orc loudly telling a random patron,
"And that was the second time we died."
And the patron is just sitting there now, like, I don't know if you've seen Airplane.
What movie is it?
Airplane, and the people sitting next to Gorath are just like mouth wide open, and like not killing themselves yet. Gorath has clearly seen Airplane because he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Just a bad day to stop sniffing glue.
Exactly, and huffing gas. So yeah, the person that they're sitting there aghast at your story, but yet too polite to get the hell away from you.
And Gorath
he is a huge
oblivious.
half orc.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. They're not saying nothing. That's cool. What's everyone else doing?
McMuffin had long since left. Once Gar started his story, he was like, "Okay, it's time to go."
Okay,
he had left for the what's it called? The port. Yeah.
Right, and the guards, gave you that look, that grumpy look, like, "We'll be watching you."
Right as McMuffin's about to leave, he just looks at them and says, "If y'all want, I can stick and he points to the half orc around. Next time, just let me come and get some water. Thank you."
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of walks away.
And you can hear them, like, not snickering, but like talking lowly in that kind of, again, they're talkers. But it's funny to watch them because Jacob has to bend over so much because he's so tall. To the fat one. Cool. So let's do a little montage with McMuffin.
Okay.
Yes, let's do it.
So what were you looking for?
McMuffin is just looking to see. Connecting it back to the journals slash the letters. So most sailors or most sailor families slash merchant families, I would argue, just kind of know each other in this region.
Sure.
Or at least they know people in the general region.
Yeah.
So he's sort of looking to see, to get an update on his family and see, how everything's doing. So he's going to sort of go to the Sailors Guild to see have there's been any updates in the town, of his town where he's born in.
I was going to ask you, have you gotten any mail from your parents?
Well, when he sent it, it was only a day ago. He said, I'm assuming in this world people send things by bird or something. I don't know. That sounds cool.
I would say
he sent it by bird.
Yeah, I'm with you. So
Carrier pigeon.
Yeah,
Carrier
or like,
yes.
or you could. This is your town, as we put it on the map. Even is definitely on the trail, the actual trail on the map. Even so, this is a normal route, right? So you could probably get mail via shipped via boat, right?
Yes.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. So how about McMuffin sort of knows the schedule? Yeah, in fact, he would know the schedule.
So you're checking
will not come in.
What I'm saying is you're basically going to check the mail, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's what it sounds like. Cool. So, and you have been here multiple times, so you know the place. So you're just walking down there, and you tell me what kind of vibe it is. Like you're just going basically to see what the deal is. Can you describe?
Yeah.
Are you looking to have a conversation with someone, or are you just basically saying, "Is there any news?"
He's looking to see if there's any news. He's planning to also ask around about the person who stole the claymore, see if there's any information on that aside from going to the slums. Because he prefer not to go.
Looking for information on what? I didn't hear that part.
What's their name? The man who sold the claymore / greatsword.
Oh,
his name?
The fence, her.
Drekel, yeah.
Oh, Drekel. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. The guy that sold Maddie the sword. Got it. I'm with you. Cool. So you go down you're on the docks. You're at the sailor fraternity of whatever, and check in. And there's been no news from your parents yet. And I'll ask you: is that weird, or did you?
That would be weird.
Yeah.
I think McMuffin comes from a family that's very. They love their only son very much.
Right.
So
and even though it was a short period, like maybe a day or two, you're like, oh, like maybe you haven't heard anything for a time where it would be strange.
It was really, really strange because I would argue that the moment McMuffin got out of the tower, he wrote it with Yulia's help. So I think it's very strange that he didn't hear. In fact, it kind of worries him a little bit. But knowing this, I'm assuming there's a sailors guild, and it's just this. I would even call it a pub, maybe not the main pub, but it's sort of it's a sort of place where guild members of different factions, sailor communities.
Yeah,
and he sort of walks in.
Sure. Cool. Go for it.
Yeah, and it's located on the port, right in front of the sea, so it's very close to any ship. Most pirates and sailors and whatnot visit. McMuffin's going to sort of walk in, and he's going to go to the open desk. He's going to go to the front desk, and I'm assuming he sees a woman there, and he calls her over and says, excuse me, I have a question.
What's this woman's name?
Mary. I can't think of anything better.
It's okay.
Mary Magdalene. I think that's the name.
Wow.
Wow.
That's the first thing that came to my head. What name?
Mary Magdalene.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Right. No relation.
Nope.
Okay. And?
Yeah, so... Yeah, have you heard a letter from the McMuffin family at all? I'm trying to get in contact with them.
Right, and she says, I'm sorry, dear, but I haven't had a word from your parents.
Nothing at all, Mary? You know I come here often.
It does seem strange. It does seem strange, doesn't it?
You're telling me. Do you know if something's happened in his flood?
And hold on. She says, "We've not heard a word."
At all? Have you had any shipping at all from his fleet in the past?
There's been.
I would say personally that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, out of curiosity, I would think that the shippings would be happening, but there would be something very off. They wouldn't be. There wouldn't be as much product. In fact, some of the times the product is spoiled. There'd just be these really weird. Even the guards there are just sort of weird that are on the ship. So it's just something very off about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she says that to you. She said, "It's nothing crazy yet, but it is strange. Like we're getting the normal." Not the normal, like a little less, but that's not super crazy. But like every little thing adds up, right? Like a little less stuff, like completely spoiled, by the time it gets here. And it's not very far, so it's weird. There's signs that something's not right.
Yeah, McMuffin, knowing this, sort of raises an eyebrow. Says, "That's weird. Why would?"
You cut out. Are you there?
I'm still there. Did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't.
See, no, I was just saying. Muffin raises an eyebrow, and looks at. Well, that's interesting. I never knew that would happen. Thank you, Mary, for the information. I'll be going.
Have a good day, Sonny.
You too, Mary. Muffin sort of scratches his head and then says, "I might as well go to the port and see what they sent."
Cool. Oh, you're going. I'm sorry. Where are you going?
He's just gonna walk out to the port where the goods would usually come from, and ask and sort of see what they were specifically see what they're sending, because McMuffin has done this job as a child. He knows the goods like the back of his hand. So if anything is amiss, then it's clear indication.
Okay. Why don't you roll me wisdom? And your mic's cutting out a lot. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm using talk to push to talk.
Can you roll me wisdom?
Yeah, I just got to check my stats. My bad.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah,
I got 4.
Yeah, so nothing. You can't really tell if anything's out of place exactly. It seems normal, but like there's a lot of action here, right? Like there's it's coming both ways, and it seems normal to at least to your eye at this moment.
Okay. McMuffin, sort of not being able to decipher anything, says, "Well, maybe I'm just worried about nothing. I might as well just..."
Your mic's cutting off.
McMuffin, oh, that's weird. I moved to another place, but...
Okay. It just sounds like your finger is off the button.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is off sometimes, because sometimes I just don't have much to say.
Cool.
Let me know when it does. Anyway, yeah, McMuffin, sort of unsure what to do next, sort of just leaves and says, "I'll come back later," as he sort of walks off to his...
Cool. So, I assume you're going back towards the bar?
No, what time is it now of the day? What time is it in the day?
It's probably like mid-afternoon, let's say.
Okay. McMuffin, knowing that he's going to just not. He's going to go back. He's going to go back to the bar and wait it out until it's around evening.
Okay, cool. So on your way back to the bar, you notice the guy that in the center has now drawn a small crowd, right? Like, and he's unpacking this thing, and it's weird. It looks like a small ship, right? Like a small boat and you're like, the sails are huge, and they're just kind of draping over it, and he's trying to get them all fashioned. So there's just like a little bit.
Is it
of
a miniature ship or something?
It looks like it looks like the size of let's say maybe 12 feet long, like a miniaturized ship, but big enough, you don't know what it is. You've never seen anything like that. I mean, it looks like you're like, is this a puppet show about to happen? I don't really get it. But like,
Muffin sort of walks over to the crowd, sort of pushing past people until he gets to the front. And he looks at the merchant. What is that?
And the merchant says, "Have you never seen an aeronaut before?"
Aeronaut? No, never seen anything like it.
Well, you're about to. And then he goes, because he's just like a helper. Like, they're just basically trying to set shit up. So they're kind of like not talking to anybody just yet. But people are gathering just because it's weird. But nothing's happening yet.
Sounds like a scam to me. Nothing's happening.
Could be. You're like, what time does the puppet show start? And so at that same moment, what's going on in the pub with Yulia and Gorath?
I mean, for Yulia, I think she's just very invested in her book and is huddled up in a corner reading.
Mm-hmm. And it's terrible.
Gorath
is rolling for something.
Yeah, I was rolling for Constitution to see how I'm holding my alcohol.
You're doing pretty well, it sounds like. But you're getting drunk. That's nice.
Yep, I'm getting there. So I'm starting to talk loudly, a little more loudly in general. And
is Gorath sitting with Yulia?
Gorath is sitting next to anyone who will let him sit next to them. And just talking nonstop, loudly, and like he'll laugh at his own thing that doesn't really make sense as a joke, and then like laugh and like heartily slap somebody and knock them out of the chair.
Sounds like Gorath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
That's Gorath's status at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So Yulia's looking at this book, and it's clear like the front cover is a sundial, and it looks like it would function like as a sundial. It's not like flat. It is a functioning sundial. And then so you're looking at that, and then you're just reading the shitty pages that are just full of nonsensical journalistic crap.
Mm-hmm. You said there was a double page on page 12?
There's 2 page 12s. And the only word different is noon or midnight.
Ahead.
Noon and midnight.
That's the only difference?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else useful in the book?
Not that you've been able to decipher yet.
Okay. Noon or midnight?
Hmm?
Can I roll either wisdom or something like that to see if I can figure out why the difference would be there?
Sure. So, did you hear me? Yeah, roll. Go for it.
Sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay. Sometimes it's
I did roll.
Oh, didn't
Yeah,
come
I
through.
did roll. Just I was talking to somebody else, so it went on their page.
Cool.
Whoops.
What'd you get on their page?
Oh, good grief! Come on.
And what's your wisdom?
Come on.
Was your wisdom 0?
Let me check. My wisdom is an 8, so is that a +1?
That is a +1. Cool.
All right, so 10.
Cool. And on those character sheets, the number you got is meaningless. It's only the plus. That's all you'll ever need. So you can just write those pluses in. Plus, or, 0, or I think Gorath. One of you guys rolled a snake eyes on it, and we said -1, which was fine. I don't remember which one. Cool. So 9. I mean,
It's a 10. I got a +1.
Oh, right, it does. 10 is very good. So you're like, the sundial is operational. So you're like, there's got to be a thing. So it's, you definitely feel like this
There's
is a hint.
something about it.
Yeah, there's something about this book. The sundial itself suggests a time, right? Like, so that's interesting, like, that it's a time-based book, but it's just full of crap. So it's puzzling. You don't really get it.
Okay, it's still daytime, so I'm going to assume that Yulia knows how to use a sundial, even though I have no fucking clue. So I'm going to say Yulia goes outside and tries to use the sundial.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell from the sundial it's 3:00.
Okay.
I actually even rolled. I said it was mid-afternoon, and I rolled and it was a 3. So we're at 3:00.
That works out nice.
Okay,
really
so
did.
it's a functioning sundial.
It is a functioning sundial, which is a weird cover for a book because it's like not flat.
Indeed. All right. And there's nothing else unusual about the book. There's the double page 12 with the different times and the sundial, but nothing beyond that stands out.
Nothing except like whoever wrote it was just a crazy person, and none of it's make.
Okay.
It reads like
Okay.
Who knows? There's like recipes in there that make no sense, and there's like today it was raining, and that's all it says. Shit like that.
Okay, Yulia will continue studying the book, and I'm assuming she's going back inside and sitting down. So, Gorath? McMuffin?
McMuffin's still kind of waiting for whatever this puppet show is about to begin.
Cool. What's Gorath doing? He's just continuing his proselytizing. Ooh, yeah.
9.
He's still not totally wasted. He's trying to get there, though. Oh, and so I'm going to go by with the rules. In the rules, it says 1 silver for food, 1 silver to get drunk. So you got your silver gets you as much booze as you want.
Awesome.
And
So
you pay the
he's
guy.
definitely put back a few dwarven ales.
And I'm assuming you
And-
drank Yulia and McMuffin's quote unquote water, which was also ale.
If he noticed it was ale, then he would. If he didn't,
Well, they probably said it was water, so you probably wouldn't drink it.
yeah, I probably wouldn't drink it if it was water. I'm not looking to drink water at the moment.
You
At
gotta
the
fight off
moment,
dehydration, Gorath. That's not okay.
Gorath is now singing a campfire song, but doesn't really know the lyrics. So
See,
just kind of the side of the way gone to today.
And
Beautiful.
so
And he's got his arm around somebody who like it's a person that like looks like they're desperately trying to escape. But, like it's Gorath has him like shoulder to him like he's singing with another person, but no one else is singing with him.
Awesome. So back on the street with McMuffin. McMuffin is now the you see like there's a guy and he's fancily dressed, right? Like let me hold on, I gotta find boink.
On a picture.
He's kind of a dandy, right? Like wax mustache, like very like proper waistcoat. He's wearing a top hat, like he's spiffy looking. His boots are shined like a mofo, and he is now in the boat basically thing, and you see him just like all of a sudden the like what you thought was like the either cover or sail is now expanding and rising, and it's blowing up like a big balloon.
McMuffin just sort of gasped. Says, "It's a big balloon!"
And it's a crazy noise. It's very loud. So like, because it's like a hot air balloon blowing it like there's fire and the balloon is expanding, and it looks like the fire is coming out of this guy's hands.
Are they a...
Say again? You cut out.
Oh, sorry. McMuffin sort of goes, "Are you a wizard?"
And he totally can't hear you over the sound at all. You're like you're looking up at him. He's basically on like he's still on this cart, so he's propped up. You're like at nose level. At best, you're like 10 feet is probably from him is as close as you could be, and it's just really loud right now, so he doesn't hear you. But that's blowing up.
McMuffin waves his hands trying to get someone's attention, and
let's see. Yeah, he's just intently barking orders at shouting down at the. He's got a couple of just like dudes helping him, holding ropes, that sort of thing, pulling, pushing. It's just they're just like very concentrated, not listening to anybody really. But clearly, he's got a little bit of like, why is he doing it in the middle of the thing? So it's a little bit of showmanship, but like they're still getting set up.
Muffin looks around and says, "No one else sees that he's flying?"
And so you start talking to the people around him, and they're like, "What is going on?" Like everyone's like excited and a little scared because it's noisy and it looks weird, and like they have no idea what this thing is or what he's doing.
Muffin, seeing this, says, "I have to get the rest." He sort of runs back. How far am I from the?
Oh, not far. You're on the square. They're just like off the square.
Okay, I'm gonna run over there. Yeah, I'm gonna run over there and sort of push back the guards and says, "Yulia, Gorath, there's someone flying in the."
Gorath will kind of stop in the middle of his loud yodeling and kind of like think for a second and be like,
"Flying like a bird."
More like in a boat.
A bird boat.
Yes.
McMuffin sort of gives a sort of blank face and then looks at Yulia and says, "Yes, in a bird boat." Now come with me.
All right.
And then he turns.
Stop reading your damn.
He turns to the bar at large and says,
I have to go now. You all will see me later.
And he'll like hiccup, and he'll go up to the bar and like grab, I don't know, 4 or 5 silver and be like,
1 round for the house.
Cool. So you guys all rush out into the street?
I think so.
Cool. And so by the time you get those guys rousted, the balloon is up like 10 feet. And now the guy is talking, like, there's no more noise. And so he's just spouting, like, that, you know, hold on one sec. He's basically saying, this is my creation. I am a aeronaut. And basically like screaming how cool it is, and he motions for the ground crew to let go of the ropes, and he floats up and just starts floating away. And he screams, "Remember my name, Santo Regalius Dumont."
And Gorath will shout up, "You are not what?"
And he shouts out, "Orcs love balloons."
Where do you live? McMuffin sort of yells as loud as he can. Where are you going?
And he says, "What?" Because now he's further away.
Where are you going?
And he reaches into his perfectly kept waistcoat, pulls out a couple of cards, and just throws them down like confetti.
McMuffin grabs one.
And the card
Gorath
says,
is having too
Go
much
ahead.
fun trying to fight. Sorry. It's just as they're floating down, he's just like and trying to grab as many as he can.
right, like they were snowflakes, grabbing them all.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And so McMuffin grabs a card, and it says his name, Santo Regulus Dumont, aeronaut. And that's all it says. He's like, "I'll be back."
This guy looks pretty special.
And you see him floating away. You guys are freaked out by this because you've never seen a hot air balloon, right? No one here has. This guy is just, and he just took off. And like the crowd is now clapping. You know, like, kind of cool. They have no idea what's going on, and occasionally you hear the, you know, and he's going higher and higher, and then he's just like, you see him in the distance, just this big balloon, and it looks like he goes down, you know, like you can't see him anymore. After a while, he clears not the horizon, but the tree in the town, treetops in town.
Muffin sort of looks at the card, puts it away, and looks at everyone else. Well, what do y'all think about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yulia is just furiously scribbling in her journal.
Gorath is chasing the balloon.
and like skipping and jumping. Like,
yep, the orc equivalent of giddy, just entertainment while drunk.
Cool. Yep. Cool. So, what do you guys want to do?
I think, I feel like we can, I don't know. I think McMuffin has really one more thing to look at, is looking to Derek to see
what?
maybe closing out with some Drellic, to find Drellic. That's about it.
Right. Okay.
But beyond that, I don't think my character has any.
Okay. Was there something you wanted to do with the book, Yulia?
I certainly want to read through the whole thing, but if the only interesting thing about it is the sundial, and the discrepancy of the time periods on page 12, I don't know how much there is that I can look through.
Mm-hmm. It is cool. Well, we're at time anyway. Do we want to call it for tonight? And we can pick this up?
Yeah,
basically... Well, yep.
I was thinking,
physically attached to a pole.
that we could just finish up McMuffin's slate plot, and then we could plan for next.
Okay.
Okay. What did you want to do?
Muffin sort of wants to wait until it's evening time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
And when it gets evening time, he then wants to.
He then wants to what? You cut out.
He wants to head over to the slums.
For what?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that part.
I'm actually not.
He wants to find Drekic. What's his name? Drekic.
Sorry.
I wrote down too many people's names. Drekel. Yes, Drekel.
Okay. So, like, how do you want to go about that?
I'm assuming in the slums there has to be a main place of living for everyone. There has to be some form of pub or somewhere that people will meet up.
Okay. Yeah. So you can go down to the pub. There's definitely there's another pub in the slum area if you want. And by this time, we're going to say it's like 11 o'clock. It's late at night.
Can McMuffin on a flashing back sort of ask to bring Gorath because he doesn't feel very safe going.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's probably trashed.
Yep. Gorath did not stop drinking.
Mm-hmm. Is Yulia going to or
McMuffin
no?
knowing that is going to be.
Is Yulia with you guys or not?
Yulia.
Yeah, I think Yulia will come along, but again, basically absorbed in her book.
Okay, cool.
McMuffin enters the pub, and then he goes up to the bartender because he says, "By any chance, have you seen a man named Drekel anywhere nearby?" Or
Drekel, he says. Drekel. I think we do occasionally get a guy named Drekel come through, but he's a traveling sales. You never know.
Traveling salesman.
Yeah, I don't know about salesman, but he's a wandering peddler of goods. Let's say that.
When was the last time he was here? Because I want to talk to the man.
Oh, I can't say for sure. It might have been a week ago.
I see. Well, out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Could maybe you make a luck roll to see if he shows up?
He does not show up.
Well, McMuffin sort of shrugs his shoulders, waiting out the night. Says, looks at Gorath and looks at Yulia. Well, I tried. Back to square one.
Cool. And
I got no other plans.
So, did you guys have anything else you wanted to do in the slums here, or we can play this out?
If there's any way, I mean, McMuffin's just trying to look for Drekel to see if there's any way if he's left town. If there has,
you're right.
There has to be someone who knows something about.
Well, I mean, he's a wandering peddler, but like he will probably show up again, but he's not here right now, and nobody really knows those guys, right? Like, it's more, yeah. But like the name is you've got a name. We will tug that thread for sure. And
Start.
So Yulia's probably still reading, right? Like in the bar.
Correct. Yes, correct.
And it's late at night, and it's getting late, and you look down in the moonlight, full moon tonight, and it's midnight. And you open the book, and the words are different.
Oh dear.
And on every page,
different?
every single page is now blank except one. Well, actually two at that point. On the 12th page, both 12 pages, it's in really nice, like, flowery handwriting. It says, "Clever of you to find this, but we were always an avid readers. You should visit the library in the Cloud City. You may find something illuminating," and there's literal quotes on that there. "I'd wish you luck, but," and they're ... mags.
Oh dear.
And that's where we'll end tonight.
Okay.
I'm
Nice.
excited. Yep.
I'm hyped.
Cool.
Gorath falls
Oh,
over a
dear.
table and crushes it. Sends beer flying everywhere.
Awesome. And you guys are probably staying at that
City.
other inn, right? Yeah.
I'm just wondering, does Yulia know anything about Cloud City?
She might. Why don't we save it for next time?
Okay, I'm good with that.
Gotta have a cliffhanger. Come on. I wasn't
It's
sure you
true,
guys were
it's
going to
true.
get
I'm
there.
excited.
Yeah, cool.
That's fun. I like it.